What is up people, Matt here again. So today's video is a bit of a rant, but it's not a pointless rant, it's quite justified. So today's topic is going to be about annualized game franchise or series, or more commonly known yearly releases. So what's wrong with this? Well, for starters, in my humble opinion, do not believe a year is enough to make a good game. There's no way that you're able to polish a game, sort out all the bugs. The list goes on. So why do game series keep getting releases every single year? Well, at first glance you'd think, oh, blame the developers that make the game. Well, it's not actually the developers' decision. At the end of the day, the people that decide when a game is released is the publishers. So the publishers are at fault here for forcing the developers to finish the game or release the game when they say, even if the game isn't necessarily finished or up to an acceptable quality even. And it's all just because they want to get the game out before the competition to get more money, even if the game is not up to scratch whatsoever. Now, again, in my opinion, I think the average span to make a game, the average development time should be around about 3 years, maybe more, sometimes maybe a bit less. But that's just my opinion. But when you think about it, 3 years compared to 1 year, that's 3 times as long. So if we took a game that was made in a year and then we compared it to a game that took 3 years to make, technically the game that took 3 years to make should be 3 times better than the game that only took 1 year to make. Now, that's not always the case. In fact, that might not even be the case, but numerically that makes the most sense because the one game has had 3 times the amount of time put into it. Now, I'm not saying games should start taking like a decade to make, like Fallout 4 seems to be taking, but I think a year just isn't acceptable in my opinion. 3 years, yeah, that's okay. 4 years, yeah, maybe. 5, okay, it's getting a bit long then, but still. But 1 year is just not enough, and 10 years is too long, in my opinion, once again. Now, why is this such a problem? Well, as I said at the start of the video, there's no way a game developer can polish a game and make it as good as it can be in a year. There's just no way. Now, let's start pointing fingers, although I don't necessarily want to, but I have to give examples to back it up. Call of Duty. Okay, so many of the Call of Duty games, well, they've become a yearly thing. A Call of Duty game is brought out every single year. And you can tell because they're all exactly the same except for a few minor differences. So that's maybe why it only takes a year to do, but that's it. Still, imagine how good a Call of Duty game would be if they took, I don't know, 3 or 4 years to make it. There'd be a big difference. Another example is Assassin's Creed. Now, granted, Assassin's Creed originally wasn't very long, but now they seem to be coming yearly again. Assassin's Creed Rogue and Assassin's Creed Unity is due to be out 2 games within a year. Why is that possible or even accepted by people? If you're a big fan, you're not going to care. But if you're not the biggest fan in the world, like most of us, then you're going to think, oh, that's a rushed game, isn't it? And it probably is a rushed game. Whose fault is that? The publishers, again, Ubisoft. So, yeah, that's why I just don't think it's acceptable, really. They need to stop rushing games out the door within a year and start focusing more on making the game as good as it can possibly be and taking as much time as they need. Especially publishers and developers like Bethesda just say, take as much time as you need, release it when it's ready. And, you know, I admire them for that because you can see the quality in their games. But anyway, I think I've ranted on enough about this. I might come back to this topic eventually again if the trend doesn't seem to stop, but hopefully less games that only take a year to be made will fade away, or at least stop, and they start focusing more on making the games 100% proper again. So, as always guys, thank you for watching, and I'll definitely see you on the next video. Bye now.